way.
Yes.
We've never started over here, but
No,
we come over here often.
Yeah, this is my little space. I share it with Abby from, I'm going to say the name.
Cloud Candy.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm so
Abby
sorry,
Chambers.
Abby
We did a video
Chambers.
with
Yeah,
her.
we did. I always say Candy Cloud. I don't know why. I think because I think like candy floss. Candy,
Yeah.
Cloud Candy Clothing.
Candy clothing.
Which I love. It's very tempting working with all her stuff around.
Yeah, you have an inspiring space to work in. It's very colorful. You guys probably can't see, but over here and over here.
You have to go watch the Cloud Candy video.
Yeah, for sure. Tour the whole space.
Yes, so Abby's great. I love being in the space with her. It's very motivating. And Haley is, just to give you an idea, she's right across the hall. You go out those doors and across the hall, and there's Haley. So, so this is my little space. We have been talking before we turned the camera on about kind of where we are in our creative
We haven't had a lot of FaceTime in the past, I would say like month.
Yeah.
Because of work commitments and different social things we've had going on. Just general life stuff. We've both like taken the summer and
we thought it was going to be so relaxing.
Oh my gosh, I thought the summer was going to be kind of a, relaxing after, for me, spring and fall.
Yeah.
Always super busy. So I look forward to summer to slow down, and it just
hasn't. And
that's okay. It's good. In a lot of ways, that's really good.
It is, yes. It's been great. Everything we've been doing has been wonderful. Like we're seeing friends, we're traveling, we're working. It's been, but it's also definitely cut into our creative time.
Yes.
And kind of I would say our inspirational time. Maybe.
Yeah,
I feel like when we're together, we bounce off of each other and we kind of inspire each other.
Yep.
And we feel we want to share that inspiration with you. And, that's kind of where everything comes from.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. Certainly, it's not a complaint, but we have fully recognizing that, having less time to work together and collaborate has sort of slowed down individually. So again, something we didn't necessarily anticipate individually, our own kind of either creative motivation or idea generation. And it's just something that we thought we'd share with you guys because it's an interesting part of the process.
It is. And we figure if we're feeling this way, everybody must feel this way because we hear other people talking about it, and you do hear the word burnout a lot lately, and we're not burned out, believe me, we're not burned out, but you do feel sort of, I think when you're a creative person, it's almost like you have these tsunamis that come through you of creativity where you just feel like, oh my God, you're open to the universe and there's this creative channeling or whatever you feel your creative process is, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody
turns off the
faucet, and you're like, what's going on?
It's really strange. And I was just reflecting upon it this weekend, solo, telling my husband about how that spark and that sort of when the faucet's on, that's what keeps you going, because otherwise, what is it? I'm not making millions of dollars over here, so that's not the reason why I keep going, but it's that exciting
what's the next
feeling
thing
that you get when you're a creative person. So to have that kind of slow down and then recognize it, it's okay, you just kind of have to respect that that's part of the process and then move on from that in a way. So we were talking about that today, okay, where are we?
Let's just sit down
individually and together.
Right. And what are we bringing to you? We want to bring enthusiasm to you. We want you to feel creative when you watch us, and I think it's almost like we don't want to do a disservice of okay, let's make a video. So we just thought, why not just be honest? We're a little bit we're kind of, I think that I keep thinking too, it's the change of seasons. It's this feeling almost of when you're waiting for something to happen and you feel immobilized by it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I think
we
a
were
little
talking
bit of
about
that.
Switching gears and how difficult that can be. I think you probably know from videos I've done, we're both at the cusp of starting new projects. That I've been working on so much commercial stuff that it always takes me a beat. This is not the first time this has happened. This happens to me about 3 times a year, where when I have to kind of change projects, I just sort of get a little how do I do that? Because it's true when they say starting is the hardest part. So,
yes.
We talked about going big before, and that's like both kind of, it's throwing us for a loop, not necessarily in a bad way, but in that way where it's just a little harder to kind of get that momentum to start.
I feel like I'm spending more time in my head as a result of this, which I already have been spending a little bit too much time in there anyway, because I'm, really trying to get kits going, think about, having more of a,
new things.
Yes, it's kind of multiple. And I'm thinking about, I only have so much time. So how can I integrate these things I'm working on and making it all, not necessarily that it all has to be for the same thing, but that one thing improves the other thing or inspires the other thing, so that I'm building, what I'm doing is building. I'm not over here and over here, which I kind of tend to be naturally. So I want to keep that focus.
Yeah.
And like Haley, we were saying about starting, it is the hardest thing. And I was saying, one of the things I heard it somewhere, I can't take credit for it, probably on Instagram. I'm sure I saw somebody wrote this out, like, great things happen 15 minutes at a time.
Love that.
And that really, when I have that in my head, you can finish this 15 minutes at a time. I get so much done.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
point. Not, it's making, but it's also writing. It's exercising. Like, let me take 15 minutes to stretch. I feel so much better after 15 minutes. Or let me sit down and stitch for 15 minutes. It's amazing what you get done.
Yeah, my aunt is a woman named Deanne Fitzpatrick. If you're a rug hooker, you might know her because she's well known in the rug hooking community. She has a whole, during the summertime especially, she has a whole kind of like almost like a campaign that she does that's 10 minutes a day, and it's for rug hooking.
I didn't even know this.
Because that's what she says is 10 minutes a day. Rug cooking is a slow process, so 10 minutes a day, and that's how you make a rug. It's the same thing.
I love that. 10 minutes a day, that's how you make a rug.
These people, as in these wise people like Liz and my aunt, are not saying it because it's not true. It's something I always forget because I had to pull out the stuff and to get the supplies, and sometimes it just feels overwhelming.
It does feel overwhelming.
You should do it anyway, just like exercising and doing any kind of activity that you love. So we're both pulling ourselves out of this.
Yes. So I even rearranged my space at home. I've moved things so that I have a little more space. I'd
love to talk about your home, since we're in your studio. Tell us about your home studio.
Okay, so
your plan for your project.
My home studio is, we live in a Cape. We have that third floor in a Cape. We used to have our bedroom up there, but it does get very hot in summer, very cold in the winter. And I've always had this small studio room that has a fireplace coming right up the center. I do have a design wall in there, and I have kind of like a day bed that people can sleep in when the kids come home or whatever, but it's also a place where I can either read or work on the computer or even just stitch, get ideas.
Your little nook.
That's my nook. And then I have big tables too, and an iron board. I mean, it's small, but I have all that in there.
We'll need some photos.
I'll have to put some photos in. Yeah. And so the room across the hall that used to be our bedroom is this big open space, and we have moved that bedroom downstairs, and then we moved my desk up there.
Oh, so you have a whole floor.
Oh yeah. So then my husband, who I will say, I don't know if you know, I have 4 daughters and myself. So my husband is the only man in the house, and he used to be in the Air Force and he used to fly, so he has all this
used to small confined spaces.
Well, yeah, because that's all he ever gets at home. But he has all this paraphernalia, so he wanted a room to we always joke, they call it an I Love Me room.
Yeah, yes.
The whole house is an I Love Me room, so he could have a room, right? So we have this room where he could put all his Air Force stuff, all these airplane, this stuff I don't really, not my stuff. But it's all in there. And so when he came home, or he was working on the outside and I was working inside, and I had moved my dressmaking sewing machine and my serger and everything kind of on my side of the desk. Because originally I was going to work my day job in there, and I kind of ended up doing that in my sewing space because I just enjoy being in there. I'm making this a very long story. Anyway,
I asked. I want to know.
He panicked and he's like, "Can I still have my airplane stuff in here?" But what's great is there's a whole open space on the floor, so for laying out larger projects. And I realized this is part of what was stopping me from working bigger is the physical space of it. I didn't have a space where I could close the door and kind of say, "Okay, everybody stay out of here. I want to do this. Or,
Yeah.
and I also like to, you know, I do dressmaking and stuff. So, and I haven't been doing that for a while, and you need space to lay things out.
Sure do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I made space. I took space from my husband, but he was never even up there. He didn't even have a chair in the room.
Yeah.
It was becoming, it's really a glorified dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
that's
hear
my
that.
home space.
Yeah.
So I do have a whole floor
Yeah,
now.
that's wonderful. Well,
But-
if we could ever see it, we'd
Yes,
love to
I'll
see
do.
it, so
I'll
we
do a little video
since you
tour after I get like I have. You know,
Yeah.
let
when
me
you're
do-
ready. When you're
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
ready. But that's like a good point. So like, yeah, what are we doing now that we're working large? We're making space,
We're making space.
changing process too.
We are. Yes. So
We're both working on very different projects right now, by the way, too, as far as
Yeah.
like, food goes. But you told me that you're thinking differently about how you might even assemble.
Yes. Yes. So the past couple of years, I've been doing everything by hand. Everything by hand, like piecing everything together by hand. I really have hardly used a sewing machine, to be honest. I
Mhm.
mean, maybe here or there, but not hardly at all. And so I realized also I want to get more done. I don't, you know, we only have so much time on this planet, and I want to make the most of it. So in making larger things, I'm going to have to use the machine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to sewing on the machine. And I'll be honest, that's been a little bit daunting as well. Like I'm out of the habit. During COVID, I got this new machine that is specifically for quilting, and I literally have to go on YouTube
Yeah.
to kind of look. It's not, I call my other sewing machine now my dressmaking machine just because it's easier. That's what I've always used it for. I just keep using that. It's like 25 years old, and I just keep using
you
that
know it.
because I know it. So there's also that like technological, like, and it's not the technology of it. It's just remembering like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? It slows you down. It doesn't feel like you're working with your partner, which is how I feel with my old machine. So, and I don't want to waste it. I'm going to sell it if I don't use it. So, but I am going to be working a lot more. I think what it is, it's almost like I'm going to lay down the infrastructure with the machine and do hand finishing, maybe is a good way to think about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, you know, you build a house and you build the framework.
Mm-hmm.
That part might be on the machine, but
and then you can build on top of
then
it,
I can build
which
on
is a pretty common way of working.
It is.
Too,
Yeah.
you know, just in general. But you were talking about even like making your own palette pieces in a way.
Yeah.
Working like a value scale or you know,
exactly.
Almost color like palette, putting together many different fabrics.
Yeah, like
that's a
grabbing from here and just
wonderful idea. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so it's almost like you have to make. Not only do you have to learn new you have to make a space, and you have to learn new technology. Then you almost need to make your palette through this like assembling of fabrics.
Yes, and I know once I start doing that, I do feel like because just doing that is going to like open. I mean, I already it's there. Like I just need to do it. I just need to start.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard to start? Even if it's like a book you really want to start.
I know.
It's so hard to start.
It can be so hard.
Isn't that starting is the hardest part?
I
just gotta be like. I keep thinking the whole time I've been talking. All I can think of is like, how do you eat an elephant?
Yeah.
One bite at a time. Like that's what this is, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, and Liz doesn't talk about her day job very much, but she has 2 different day jobs that take up a lot of her time. It's like we got to give ourselves grace as well. We've been incredibly busy, and that's okay. That's all right. Now it's time to reclaim some of that time for ourselves again.
It is. Yeah.
In fact, I started on Monday after complaining this weekend to my husband about how like, you know, I'm not getting that spark, da 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 da. And I started a project too. Do you want to go look at it?
Yeah, let's go look at it.
Okay.
Let's look at it. We're gonna shift because Haley has a great. I can't wait to. I was very excited. Let's just say when I walked into her.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
Let's go across the hall.
Walking across now that we're
here. We go.
Here. Abby's beautiful space.
Oh, I know. All of her good.
You know, I'll actually let you go first.
Okay.
So I'm not
this off just a little.
clanging this.
Here's one of my favorite fabric pins. She had some dyed stuff in here the other day. Ooh, look, here's some stuff.
She's getting here a ton.
Here's something.
Gosh, I can't.
All these little things. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty fantastic. Okay. All right. Let's. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Get this. Hey.
Ooh, go ahead.
No. Oh. All right. Well.
I don't know what I'm doing or saying, but so I started this on Monday when I came in. You come look, come closer because you didn't see it.
I almost feel like you will have to, as we sign off, bring the camera in so
Yeah,
you can see the texture.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
that's
what
so
I've
cool.
done is this whole thing here was a piece that I had started
A while ago.
in the
you
spring.
may recognize
In the
this 'cause it
spring,
was
yeah.
when we went to the thrift shop and we were
Yeah.
like kind of challenging ourselves to
This
integrate.
maybe in March or
Yeah.
something. And I decided I had some canvas, some painting canvas, hanging out, and I decided that I needed a ground to start working big. Well, the first thing I did is I cleared this space on my studio wall maybe about a month ago, kind of with good
So
intentions.
you made space.
I made
Yep.
space. I made space. And then what was the second thing? The second thing I said you have to learn technology. I had not learned technology yet, but my plan for this, after I do this collage sort of piecing here, is I'm going to
You're integrating something
I'm going to
new.
integrate
Yeah.
some sewing into it, which is
Yeah.
something that Liz has inspired, and her process has inspired within me. But I am trying to incorporate some different
I
things
love
here.
that. I love
I
the
did like a
braiding.
braided piece here. I don't know if
Mhm.
this stuff's gonna stay.
What is this?
This is
It's
a
like
handmade
almost like
paper.
a mulberry paper. Or
Yep,
something,
it's not
right?
something I made. These are all
Yeah.
acquired papers, but a lot of this is wool and
Yeah.
thrifted fabric. This is rug hooking, obviously the quilly. This is packing fabrics.
Is this the lining from that skirt? The
Yep,
wool
this is the
skirt you
lining
got?
from the
Yep.
skirt. There's a little bit of painting in
I
there.
love the quilly.
So what I'm doing
Love this.
is
now, did you over dye this?
I
Or
didn't.
no, you didn't?
Somebody gave this to me.
That is
So
so
that's a found wool.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is I've been tacking all this stuff on, and then I'm painting with matte medium, acrylic matte medium to adhere, but I'm doing it kind of in phases, so things can stick and
Mhm.
dry, and then I can come back with more glue to make it stick and dry. And I don't know what this will be, but doing it on the canvas, so that I can maybe, like I said,
Paint
incorporate
and
paint
stitch.
and stitch.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna work on like a board or something, then I was like, that's gonna be really limiting. When I'm trying
Right.
to stretch
Because then
my skills.
It's so funny. I almost used the word stretch as well because I was going to say because
I
you
could
could do
stretch it.
this,
Yes,
and
I
then
could.
once you're done sewing and everything, then you can
Right.
stretch it on, right?
Well, and I just having the blank space of the canvas is
Mhm.
something that's like kind of nice and exciting too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how
It
fun
looks
would it
very
be
satisfying.
to draw on it
Yeah.
as well. But I do have some other pieces of canvas that maybe not in this piece, but I'm like, that would be really nice too to add in some drawn marks, since this is so heavy and shape oriented. And it's bulky. It's like got this bulky feeling. that
Right.
I'm like, it might be nice to have
Like a
some
lightness. Yeah.
whimsical lines on here, but I don't know. I'm not sure. But starting, as we're talking about in this time of starting, has alleviated some of that pressure I felt over the weekend of being like, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuck. I was so stuck. But I also haven't had time, so I have to give myself grace. It's
You
been
do.
so
you do.
busy.
That's a really important
Um,
word, Grace. We do
yeah.
need to give ourselves grace.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Because it,
Yeah, but as
and
creatives, it's
as
really
do
hard.
you. It is
Yeah,
hard.
It's hard.
really hard.
I feel
and
like
you-
you need to be producing all the time.
It's almost like when you're creative, you have stuff all the time churning around in your head, and it can become paralyzing.
It can.
Like to
Yeah.
get it out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And even not knowing what's happening here, it still
It's
feels
like you're
a little better. than
Taking your head out of it and letting your hands, like
Yeah.
it's kind of coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I love
yep.
that.
So it's helping. But anyway, so I don't know what you can see. It's much bigger. And actually, I should pull out those little
Ooh.
ones that we did weeks and weeks ago,
Yes.
which I still have.
I don't have my little ones with me, so show your little ones.
Um,
Take a peek at Haley's
I
little ones.
didn't do a ton of work on them, but every so often, oh, I can't. Actually, I think if I just hold up like
Yeah.
here-ish, because
Ooh, I like how you wrapped this.
thank you. That one's, it's definitely, this hardly has anything on it.
Yeah,
But
I
it
love
has-
these. I haven't seen these.
Yeah, I worked on them. This one I think you saw.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, this one. I'll stick that in your
stick
thumb.
that in my thumb.
And then this one.
Oh,
and this
yeah.
is a blank piece of paper.
Oh yeah. Okay,
But-
here, put this.
Yeah, here I'll hold
So you
these
can
two.
see the genesis for
Yeah,
the
you can
larger
see-
piece
You can
in
see,
these.
definitely, I think that's true too about work. Like the work, it all relates. Like this is
It
very
does.
different than this, but you can see there's like a
Yeah.
language there. But stuff like this and stuff like this and some of these stitches are bringing me to a new place. They're
Yeah.
new mark making.
I love that.
that I hadn't.
It is. We've often referred to. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm
No,
sorry,
that's
but
okay.
we've often referred to thumbnails.
Yes.
And these,
Right.
like, I do think that's
Yeah.
a great way.
yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
I love
So-
that you're making new marks.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's where
I
I'm
love
at.
this
That-
little.
Yeah, I know. That one's cute. There's something really cute about this one.
This almost looks like a little gourd or a
Yeah,
pumpkin
yeah,
or something.
right, yeah,
Even though it's
yeah.
not. It
It's
just
not,
has that
yeah.
feeling of like, "Hello, friend." And
This
he's
has
kind of
like a
talking to this guy.
horn on
That
it.
reminds me of like
Yeah,
like
some
we were
sort
talking
of
about
horn.
ideas needing to come
Yeah,
out. Like,
yeah.
"Boom-ba-doo, I have an idea.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so who knows? To go from something this size to this
Mhm.
size, it's hard. Like we keep saying paralyzing.
And it takes more time.
starting. It takes a lot more time.
It's much more.
It takes
of
a lot
commitment.
more supplies. It's more
Mhm.
expensive.
It is more.
And what do I do with this when I'm done? I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's a big conversation
I don't know.
that I
What-
know
what am
most
I
of you
gonna-
can relate to.
What am I gonna do
Where's
with
it
this?
gonna
Where's it gonna
go?
go? You can see
Yeah.
it takes up half my wall. So that's another question. But
Yeah.
that's okay. It's needing to happen. This work is obviously it's been rattling around inside my brain, so I just gotta see it through, even if
Yeah.
this was a thing. Again, I'm pointing over here because it was like a piece about this big that I
Yes,
slapped up
yeah.
on here first. This was something that needed to come out. It didn't turn out to be anything because it just was too wacky. But now I'm repurposing it. So maybe that's what will happen with this one.
Yeah.
Maybe that will go on an even bigger piece in the future. Nothing's really wasted.
I love it. Wouldn't it be fun to do? Have you seen
I
where
know,
they
it'd
do
be
like
fun.
the whole side of a house?
Oh my god.
Or like they,
Yeah.
and almost like a mural.
Oh
of-
my gosh.
What I love is it's so funny. When I was standing on your side, I could not see through this paper.
Oh yeah.
But now that I'm over here, I
Yeah.
can see through this. So it really makes me want to walk around
Yeah.
and interact
And
with
look
the
at it
piece.
because it's sticking out. Let me bring the phone a little closer.
Yeah, let's bring it closer because
So
I
we
feel like
can-
you really there's so much texture and there's so much.
It is a
happening.
little hard to
I'll
see.
get out of the way.
Oh no, here I'll just hand it to you.
Okay. So, and Haley can kind of talk about like.
Yeah, so that's packing material,
Yep.
braiding.
And like I was saying, when I'm over here, I can't really see.
yes, it changes.
And then when you
on the
come
angle.
over
and I don't know how flat
here-
I'm going to make that because right now it's just glued from a couple of points.
Yeah, all of a sudden you see into what's
Yeah.
behind. I love it.
But layers are very important in this piece, obviously.
Yep.
Using some transparencies, but a lot of like wool is so opaque, mixing with the transparency of the paper. And also the first thing I put down was that crazy piece. It needed to
This
be covered
part.
up. Yeah, a lot of that needs to
Yeah.
be covered up. Just
I do like the idea
kinda
of this
control it.
becomes kind of more delicate down over here, and then like you said, if you maybe
Yeah.
use more delicate mark making, and you can see how she's given herself sort of the boundary
Yes.
of this large canvas. But just to give you, I'm going to back up now so
Sure.
you can see. I know you could see it before, but like an idea of how big it is. You've seen there's a light switch that gives you an idea, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But yeah, it's nice to kind of just like reflect on the summer and doing so much of one kind of work and then kind of coming back to the roots
Mhm.
of everything. And we'll keep you informed of
Yeah.
how it goes. Liz is gonna start hopefully soon. Work's gonna
I'm gonna start soon.
calm down a
Yes,
wee bit.
things are
and-
gonna get a little better.
know,
I don't
we
know if
can-
we're even in the.
I know, right?
Looking at.
But yeah, we'll have some more work coming up. And so this is all to say, this is just something that's been going on the inner monologues of our mind. We do have some other videos.
Oh yeah, we
planned.
do have a lot of videos planned, a
Yeah.
lot more coming up. But we just wanted to kind of be honest about, not that we were feeling frustrated, but we were feeling almost like stilted or stopped, or like we're like, I feel like I'm at an intersection waiting for the light to change, kind of, or something. So
Yeah, maybe by the next time you see us, we'll have some.
the green light will be good.
Yeah, but maybe not. Who knows? We gotta be honest
may
about,
still be
about
flashing.
what we're doing.
Wait,
but in
wait.
the meantime, we were talking about, we have like some field trips and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Things that might not be like us working, but like us out gathering that inspiration.
Because
in
that's
order-
really important too.
It is.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
and just being in the world, and
Yeah.
that is where, even though it takes time and energy, traveling, getting out, talking to people, meeting people, looking at art, looking at ways other things are made and put together, furniture, houses,
Yep.
you know, anything, just can help you
Oh yeah.
think about what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're also talking about teaching coming up too, so we might have some more teaching.
Yes.
So it's like there's a lot going on that, you know, is all art related.
Yeah.
But this has been nice to put my hands to canvas. I know you'll have your time soon too. so.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've been doing a little stitching here and there in the evenings, but I need to really just like leap into something new.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
We'll
Well,
talk
we'll
to you
see you.
soon.